Hey folks, welcome back to Naman Reviews. Today we're going to unbox and review the Target exclusive Marvel Legends Retro Carnage action figure from the Spider-Man comics. Now, you might be wondering how I'm reviewing this figure when it's due for release in October. Well, that's because I'm in Canada and for some reason the toy is out earlier here. So we're going to cut this open in my light box and do some fun poses along the way. Before we continue, may I request that you tap the like and subscribe buttons to support my young channel. Here we have the front of the box. I really do like this retro style blister packaging, though of course when you cut it from the bottom you do damage the box forever. What immediately stands out about this box is the gorgeous artwork at the background. I like the illustration of Spider-Man. I like the illustration of Carnage too, though it is a bit odd that the coloring is opposite to the figure. For example, that is red on black, but this seems to be black on red. The figure itself, this is a recycled body. It is a old body. You'll notice that from the pins on the arms, but from what I can tell, they have been painted nicely, so it's not too bad. However, that head sculpt seems to be a new head sculpt. He's also got a couple of accessories in the back. Artwork looks pretty good at the back too. I like this purple color. I like the illustration of Spider-Man again. Carnage looks good. Some branding up top, some legalese at the bottom. And if you want to read Carnage's bio, you can. I will give you a close-up. So it's time to open the box, and I usually just cut along the base. You guys let me know what you do to cut your boxes with minimum damage. So unfortunately my cut was a bit of a disaster, but what can you do? First impressions are very nice. I really do like this head sculpt. I think the repainted body looks pretty good too. And the pins, not too bad. Here we have Carnage straight out of the box in a museum pose, and I think this is a very good looking figure. I understand that a lot of it is repurposed and repainted, but that head sculpt is new and it's a very appealing looking toy. Overall, I am very pleased with the paint applications and the mold, but I have noticed a couple of issues. For example, the veins do not always line up between joints. So for example, between the thigh here, you can see it's lining up fine, but here, what is that? Why is that not lining up with anything? It just disappears. Same thing on the feet. You will notice that in some areas it is not lining up like it should. And overall, while the paint applications are pretty good, unfortunately there is a small white spot on my figure. The musculature looks really nice. I think the veins look good too. Turning it to the side, you can see the pins. And if that bothers you, you might not want to pick this figure up, but I think they've done well to paint it red, and it's a different red, but it hides okay. Looking at the back, I've got that back piece in. You've already seen that piece in different Carnage releases before. Goes in quite easily and covers up the holes. Again, nice musculature, and the veins look really good too. Though yeah, you do see the pins. Turning the figure to the side again, you can see the pins on the thighs, on the bicep. Before we look at the articulation, why don't we have a closer look at Carnage with the portrait lens in different poses. So before we look at the articulation, I am going to take off that back piece. Should mention that the plastic is nice and soft and kind of rubbery. On the claws over here, Probably easier when kids handle it. So, head tilts left, tilts right. Looks down pretty nicely. Looks up okay. Rotates very freely. Got a butterfly joint here. So shoulder goes up, but it moves forward like this. Goes back. I expected a bit more articulation from this butterfly joint, but it's a bit limited. Shoulder rotates freely. Beautiful double jointed elbow. There's a cut at the bicep. Hand rotates freely. Moves back and forward. It's got an ab crunch. Look at that, that's beautiful. Again, very nice. Twists at the waist quite well. No tilting side to side though. Leg kicks forward. Doesn't kick back too much, but double jointed knee. It's very nice. Thigh rotation. Leg stretch. Nice ankle pivot. Toes move up and down. So yeah, overall articulation is very good. Thumbs up. Here are all the accessories that Carnage comes with. We've seen some of these before with other releases. So this piece goes on Carnage's back. Has a virus-like look. Love all these strands coming out. A very soft, rubbery plastic, as you would expect from a $25 figure. But I think it's been nicely painted, and I think these veins look pretty good. And when you put them on Carnage's back, they line up quite nicely. Here is Carnage's axe. It kind of looks like He-Man's battle axe. Again, I think the plastic is nicely painted and the veins do look pretty good. And of course, there's up and down articulation right over here. Carnage's blade, I think, again, looks pretty good. The red plastic looks nice and the veins nicely molded, nicely painted, and it has some articulation here. So adding Carnage's swap out parts is pretty easy. I love how soft the jaw is. La 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 la. Let's do this one here. Done. And done. He looks really good. Arrgh. Now that we've seen the articulation and the accessories, it's time to take Carnage to the toy room for some fun poses. Time for some size comparisons, and here we have Retro She-Hulk. This is the latest figure I have, and I think they display well together. And of course, she towers over him because these are the comic book versions of these characters. Another size comparison, and here he is with Marvel Legends Retro Cell-Shaded Spider-Man. I really love this figure, and I think these two kind of display well together even though they are very different aesthetics. Another size comparison, but this time with Spider-Man from different manufacturers. While this is Marvel Legends, of course, these are Mafex Spider-Man. That is 185 and that is 147. And I do think they scale okay, but I think that even though this is comic book Carnage, he should be a little bit bigger than them. My final score for Marvel Legends Retro Carnage is going to be 3 out of 5 stars. There is a lot to like about the figure. I love the new sculpt, it's nicely painted, and the white teeth actually look pretty good. The figure is also a lot of fun with some nice accessories. The plastic is nice and soft and should be safe for young children. However, there are some things that I do not like. For example, I wish the black colors aligned better between the body parts. And the pins, while subtle, are still quite visible and do make the figure look a bit dated. And aside from the new head, the figure does have too many recycled parts for my taste. Still, if you can ignore some of this toy's shortcomings, this is a solid figure for your money. That's my review, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other reviews of Marvel Legends She-Hulk, Mafex Wolverine, Mezco TMNT if you can. And please do hit those like and subscribe buttons. Until next time.